U.S.B My Nation channel.
Hello and welcome to U.S.B My Nation channel, where we talk about social, faith and politics. Today I want to bring to you a news that many people may have seen. This news concerns everyone in the world, especially if you are a colored person like me. So let me go straight to the news. Thank you, our subscribers. If you have not subscribed, please do subscribe so that we together will make a better place. We learn every day, so nobody is a know-it-all. So I noticed that some people will subscribe and they will go and subscribe again, and the subscription will go. They will clean the ones they have done. It is something that you do only once, except if you, the landlord of this platform, start being funny, then we can tell you what to do. If it requires for you to subscribe again, we'll let you know and you do it. But for now, it is a one-off thing. So thank you for that. And when you subscribe, do like. When you see it, do like. When you like, it will help YouTube algorithm to spread the video. That's why we always say like. Then when you bring your comment, it concludes the video. I will know if what I'm thinking is what you are thinking too. And together our voice will correct what is wrong on where things are going wrong. That is the essence. Nobody knows it all. Okay, thank you so much. So we go to this news, and after I will also give my own submission, waiting for you to bring your own comments. And the news goes like this. UN votes to recognize enslavement of Africans as gravest crime against humanity. The United Nations General Meeting has voted to recognize the enslavement of Africans during the transatlantic slave trade as the gravest crime against humanity. A move advocates hope will pave the way for healing and justice. The resolution proposed by Ghana called for designation while also urging UN member states to consider apologizing for the slave trade and contributing to a reparations fund. It does not mention a specific amount of money. The proposal was adopted with 123 votes in favor and 3 against. That means the three countries that voted against this move were United States, Israel, and Argentina. 52 countries abstained, including the United Kingdom and European Union member states. 52 countries abstained, including the United Kingdom and European Union member states. Countries like the UK have long rejected calls to pay reparations, saying today's institutions cannot be held responsible for past wrongs. Unlike UN Security Council resolution, those from the General Assembly are not legally binding, though they carry the weight of global opinion. Let it be recorded that when history beckoned, we did what was right for the memory of the millions who suffered the indignity of the slave trade and those who continue to suffer racial discrimination. Ghana President John Mahama told the assembly ahead of the vote. Told the BBC's Newsday program, "We are demanding compensation, and let us be clear, African leaders are not asking for money for themselves. We want justice for the victims and causes to be supported educationally, and endowment funds, skill training funds. The campaign for reparation has gained significant momentum in the recent years. Reparatory justice was the African Union's official theme for 2025, and Commonwealth leaders have jointly called for dialogue on the matter. Ablakwa also said that with the resolution, Ghana was not ranking its pain above anyone else, but simply documenting a historical fact. Between 1,500 and 1,800, around 12 to 15 million people were captured in Africa and taken to Americas, where they were forced to work as slaves. It is estimated that over 2 million people died on the journey. The resolution, backed by the African Union and the Caribbean Community, states that the consequences of slavery persist in the form of racial inequality and underdevelopment affecting Africans and people of African descent in all parts of the world. Ablakwa told the BBC, many generations continue to suffer the exclusion, the racism because of the transatlantic slave trade, which has left millions separated from the continent and impoverished. Ahead of the vote, speaking after speaker expressed similar views. The UK, one of the major powers involved in the transatlantic slave trade, said it recognized the untold harm and misery that has been caused to millions of people over many decades. But its ambassador to UN, James Kariuki, told the assembly in his speech that resolution was problematic in terms of its wording and international law. No single set of atrocity should be regarded as more or less significant than other, he said. The U.S. ambassador to the UN made similar points during his speech, saying his country does not recognize a legal right to reparation for historical wrongs that were not illegal under international law at the time they occurred. In addition, Dan Negria said the United States objected to the cynical usage of historical wrong as a leverage point to reallocate modern resources to people and nations who are distantly related to his historical victims. Ghana, on the main gateway for transatlantic slave trade, has long been a leading advocate for reparation. Forts where tens of thousands of enslaved Africans were once held under inhuman conditions remain standing along the West African country's coast, as well as legal problems around reparations. The U.S. ambassador said the resolution was unclear as to whom the recipients of the reparatory justice would be. Negria also responded to Mahama's early criticism of Donald Trump's administration for normalizing the erosion of Black history. Since returning to power, the United States president has targeted American cultural and historical institutions for promoting what he called anti-American ideology. Trump's orders have led to moves such as the restoration of Confederate status and an attempt to dismantle a slavery exhibit in Philadelphia. These policies are becoming a template for other governments as well as some private institutions, Mahama had said on Tuesday. But Negria said President Trump had done more for African Americans than any other president. He is working around the clock to deliver for them and make our country greater than ever, he said. The resolution also called for cultural artifacts stolen during the colonial era to be returned to their countries of origin. I love this. We want a return of all those looted artifacts which represents our heritage, our culture, and our spiritual significance, Ablokwa said. All those artifacts looted for many centuries into the colonial era ought to be returned. So, my people, you people have heard what I read. I love this part of artifacts that they are talking about, in the sense that many of our spiritual and cultural artifacts has been stolen mostly by Britain and France. And I am not surprised that Britain and European Union will abstain themselves from these votes, because they are the main problem that Africa has. When you talk of stolen artifacts, it's in Europe. It's not even in America. Maybe America will have some borrowed from Europe, but it's Europe, mostly Belgium, England, that is United Kingdom, and France. Do not forget that President Patrick of I think Congo, this Congo that they are destroying, his own teeth, the Belgium kingdom is still having it till this day. His teeth, they destroyed his life and took his teeth, the set of his teeth, and went to Belgium. It's online. YouTube, this is for educational purpose and historical documentation. As for all, I'm reading from what is online. I'm not making it up. So I am so happy that African presidents have woken up to this extent. But one thing is to say it. Another thing is, what are they doing? In the continent of Africa, what is still holding majority of the presidents to stand up for their people? Why are they still taking orders? Why are they still afraid? Why don't they stand up and build the nation? Because these their words and their demands would have more weight if there is significant turnaround. I mean, social, political, and economical turnaround on the citizens of Africans living in African continents. When they do this, I don't think anybody will abstain from their resolution, because those people, when they abstain, they know what is going to come behind. And they know why they are abstaining, because they know that everything that the president of Ghana spells out there, they are the one committing those crimes. So they cannot be so stupid to come and vote against themselves. But it is left for those Africans that are suffering this to stand up and do the needful. Africa has suffered a lot. To me, personally, what pains me most is when I hear them call Africa a poor continent, or African people regard us as poor people, when they are the real wretched people, when they are the one destroying our world. That is the truth. It is online. This is the moment of the truth. If humanity refuse to face the truth, this earth will never be faced. And it is on our hand and in our hand and under our watch to make this truth available and use of it. It is not a thing of fight. No one is fighting anybody. What we are saying is that what is right and what is wrong remains wrong. You cannot go to somebody's continent and you are welcomed with two hands, only for you to be dubious and pay back with ill treatments. In fact, this, what they are saying, is even beyond this. Many inventors, African inventors, when they want to teach it, they will put their own color. There was one inventor that I showed my daughter. I made a video about it, about women, because March is Women Month. And fortunately enough, I made a video ahead of, I didn't even know that they are going to teach it in the school. That's the person that, the woman that Dr. Gladys, that created the Wi-Fi, you know, what we are using, Skype and all this. Do you know that just past week, my small daughter learned it in the school, and she came back and said, "Mommy, that woman you show me, when they show it to us at school, she was looking like her father." And I have already showed her this woman beforehand. Imagine the trauma. Imagine the lies to their own generation. And this is where the problem is. This is the problem we are facing in this our world. Adults lying to children as history, destroying history and telling lies about history. And the innocent children learning it the way they are taught, thinking it is true. And then they come around and talk about human rights. Who is defiling the right here? Who is the spoiler of the rights? If you can talk about human rights and such a vote come and you abstained yourself from it, are you really honest to yourself? Are you really telling yourself the truth? But nevertheless, the whole ball lies on the leaders of Africa. They are the one to make the best choice. They have nothing stopping them to make a choice. They are the only ones stopping themselves. When they remove greed, selfishness, stupidity, I call it, because at a certain age, a man will see, and when I say a man, I mean men and women, your body will start telling you that there is nothing in this earth, because your wealth doesn't matter anymore. But in Africa, I don't see the leaders of Africa behave that way. I don't see them like people that this reality are telling on. If a man would be 92 years and still be in power, gallivanting everywhere, not that he even have a good record as a human being. Just example like the president of Nigeria. He is 92 and he is claiming 72. Even at 72, what are you doing stressing yourself with power? You can't, it's no longer your generation. The new generation are being born. It's only in Africa that we hear that tomorrow is for the new generation, and it never comes. They will be there until death call them. They are there, they are grandmothers, grandfathers, plotting their own generation, even as they are failures. So this news is a very welcome news to me, but it's not so enthusiastic, because I am still waiting to see the presidents and leaders of Africans doing the right thing for Africans before coming outside to chase what is outside. Even as this particular one, it is well overdue for somebody to speak out for the dead. Because what enslavement did in Africa And the bad name is still telling on us, even when we are not part of it. When we come to their continent, it is unspeakable. It is I call it the wickedness of the wicked. And the earlier African leaders realized this, not just saying it, but standing up for their new generation, doing the needful in African continents. They don't just go out and sign any treaty anyhow. They have to start using their treaty to correct these wrongs, to say that the people, the owners of the things, are awake. They shouldn't be in the forehead of chasing Burkina Faso and the Sahel alliance. For what? How can Africans be destroying Africans? You see how all European states and countries abstained themselves from this. But they will come back and tell you, African leaders that went there, to help them to destroy the Sahel. And you will be in the forefront. Africans destroying Africans. This is a food for thought. Tell me what you think about this video. If you have not subscribed, please do subscribe. Do bring your comments, because your comments matters a lot. Thank you so much for listening.